This podcast will be upsetting to gay bottom men because it will reveal something that was a blind zone or blind spot, sometimes they call it. And for the first time, this will be revealed. This will be unmasked. So if you are a bottom man, if you are a gay man and want to see the truth about something on a deeper level, then this podcast will help you see something that you can't see at this moment. My name is Angelo. I am the founder of the Big Gay Family Social Program, and I have been innovating in the gay space, innovating ideas about relationships, about sexuality, helping gay men see that you are not a sex puppet. If I were to summarize my messages over the past 10 years, was this: you are not a sex puppet. That's who you are not. Being gay is about something much more broader, bigger, and more important than being a sex puppet. And through the Big Gay Family Social Program, my goal was to help you find a way to discover that there is something much bigger, much greater about you than being a sex puppet for each other. And if you're curious about all of that, then visit the website biggayfamily.com, check it out, watch the videos, learn about the universal dating protocol, and then see for yourself that there is a better way to meet gay men and to live our lives in a more authentic way. If you are brand new to my channel and my videos, you'll notice that I don't hold back and I speak openly. Sometimes you'll notice that my ideas are much more nuanced. And I think about being gay from a non-sexual perspective mostly. So you'll notice that because of that alone, the difference in understanding what it means to be gay will be very, very different than the understanding that you're familiar with. Because most of the familiarity that you have comes from the world of sex and all the conversations and the years spent on pursuing it. So imagine having the equivalency of that and pursuing the truth about the gay consciousness beyond sexuality. So notice that if you did that for 5 to 10 years, you would then look at sexuality differently. You would discover that who you are is much more nuanced and much more unique than what society tells you that being gay is about. So I'd like for you to subscribe to the channel if you really want to learn ideas that will make a shift in your life in a powerful way. Because the LGBT culture, the gay culture, offers very primitive, mostly sexual perspectives. And you will eventually suffocate. You will begin to suffocate in this sexual exaggeration of everything. That everything is about the sexual identities, the sexual personas, and the entire life is spent on living that way. And then a person wakes up and realizes that that was just a brief introduction to gayness, that there is a much bigger world out there for us to discover. But you're not going to read about this at the Pride Center. You're not going to hear about this during the Pride events. No, you only hear about the sexual version of gayness from the grinders, the scruffs, the hookup apps, where you have to be vaccinated. You have to be taking PrEP. You have to be getting injected with something. You have to be popping some kind of pills. You have to be trusting the government. You have to be LGBTized in order to fit in. So my understanding of homosexuality and gayness is not the LGBTized gayness, but the free to set your mind go into any direction kind of gayness and see what's out there. So today we are going to discuss this upsetting angle about being a bottom that will become more and more familiar territory for more and more bottoms, which is the fact that with the presence of sides, and sides are gay men who don't participate in anal intercourse at all, and the number of those men is growing really fast, and they could be bottoms becoming sides. And I think that's mostly true. It's the bottoms that become sides eventually. And what that will do is it will introduce into the gay world a perspective on sexuality that will reveal to the bottom man a sad reality about how sex kidnaps our lives and destroys it. And it's the fact that the commitment to being a bottom and the perpetual pursuit of tops, and this pursuit lasts literally decades, that this is what the sides are going to reveal to the bottoms, that was all unnecessary, that all along there was a third option, and that third option is to become a side, as opposed to hoping that one day you're going to find your total top man. And not to mention, on a psychological level, this is a fantasy kind of pursuit. This is the approach avoidance. You want something, but at the same time, you know you can't have it. So you idealize what you want to such a level where it's almost impossible to attain it. And that is the ideal of a total top man, the father figure, the protector, the dominant energy that now is supposed to descend into your life. And this is something that is unattainable. And the sides will make this more and more obvious to all the bottom men out there that are still chasing their total tops. Not to mention that most of you guys who are bottoms, you will be alone and single for the rest of your life because there are not enough tops to satisfy all the bottoms. And in fact, I do believe that the sides, all the gay men that are now rebelling against this dynamic, they are the sides and they are the bottoms that got fed up with this overpopulation of bottoms, and they just invented a third option. And this third option makes total sense. And I believe there will be more and more and more men, some even tops, becoming sides, because they are all now for the first time giving themselves permission to say what they always wanted to say, which was that they were never comfortable with this whole anal division into tops and bottoms. And they want to be left alone and now find peace in sexuality through becoming sides. I'm actually one of those men. I was never comfortable with this whole anal thing. I always felt that there was too much risk with the parasites in the fecal matter, with a lot of physiological shifts that I was not willing to do. And being a side is actually a perfect place. And now when we present, or when those men who are sides, they become more and more visible, the bottoms are going to realize, oh my gosh, I could have chosen to be a side 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I could have chosen to not participate with the anal thing. And many of those gay men, if they were presented with that third option, they would have chosen it. But because of neglect to manifest it through just being true to your needs, they just became a bottom. And they just let themselves go, avoiding to see that that's not really who they were. And that was a total waste of time. And the whole pursuit of total tops is a total waste of time. And it is. It is a trauma response to relationships where you aim for the ideal that is almost impossible to find, impossible to bring home into a loving relationship. And the presence of side, like I mentioned in my other video, which you definitely should watch, about the psychology of sides and why it's a healthy movement in the sexuality revolution that we are having in the gay culture right now. So please watch that video, because it is a revolution of sexuality. Don't have any doubts about that. It's a massive, massive movement that we are seeing that's gonna shake up our perception of sexuality in the gay culture. What it will do, it will reveal to the bottom men that the sacrifice of their lives in the name of pursuit of the total top was unnecessary. That they could have become a side and find other men who were sides or who were bottoms and coexist with them in a sexual way. That there are many other ways to experience sexuality. The intercourse does not have to be there. And this is a healthy message. And this is why I think this movement of sides is a healthy thing. And the shakedown of the bottom mindset, which I think the sides will produce, is healthy, because it is a sacrifice ritual to be sacrificing your life in the pursuit of a sexual ideal that you will actually not attain ever in your life to begin with. You might have some of it, but once you have some of it, then what you have will become boring, and then you keep pursuing, because it's not about the end goal, it's about the pursuit of something that you're not supposed to have or find. That's the total top ideal. You're not supposed to have it, but you're supposed to chase it. Do you understand? So, on a psychological level, it is incredibly healthy that the bottom men are now presented with this third option. And if you're a bottom man, I would say that it's healthy for you to explore being a side. Because then you realize that you don't need to sacrifice your life for a total top. You just need to reframe sexuality. You need to own your masculinity. You need to own the things that you're looking for the total top to give you. You need to become the total top on an internal level, and then with sexuality become a side. And this is, I think, a better approach to experiencing your gayness, because you are not standing in line with 27 million other bottoms chasing the total top, not realizing that these total tops have also radically changed because of all that supply of bottoms. So your ideals about that top being a protector, no, he doesn't give a shit about you. He's entitled now. He's entitled. He only wants the kinkiest bottoms on the market. And so unless you're willing to become one, then you're standing in line for the wrong thing. And this is, again, why the presence of sides and the philosophy of no penetration is such a healthy thing for the gay community, because it gives an option, a third option, so that you don't have to be a sacrificial sexual animal. You can express yourself in a wholesome way through being a side, and in fact using it as a transcendental expose of what's truly, truly, truly inside you. And I call this the non-insertive consciousness. And I believe it's healthy for you in your gay life to explore it for a year or 2 or 3 and discover the difference. So if you don't believe me that this is better for you, then give it a shot for 6 months, become a side for a year, interact with men through no conversation about tops and bottoms at all, and you'll notice that these interactions, these relationships will be significantly different. And you will eventually come to the same conclusion that I came to, that these interactions were better. They are more consistent. They are gentler. They are less volatile. They're not based on a fantasy. They're based on this detox and purification of our souls by recognizing that sexuality has been overblown and exaggerated to a level where it's now hurting us. And we need to take control back of our sexuality. And I think becoming a side for a little while is incredibly healthy for you. So I hope this has been helpful. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed conversations like these. And if you are looking for a transformation, join us at the Big Gay Family social program. And to do that, visit the website at biggayfamily.com. Okay, my friends, thank you so much for listening. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next podcast. Take care.